VIPER278 entered channel.
Colonel, the zombies have taken over suburbia.
Shucks to be them.
Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2.
T-minus 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Does that mean I'm supposed to start now?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was counting you down.
There we go. Let me every time I tab out, I got to reset my steering wheel. So let me get going here. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to PV Rivers preview number 3. Can everybody out there hear me okay before we get going? Everything working, looking good? Somebody? Anybody?
Maybe you put your volume down too much.
Oh, it should be up now.
They can't hear you now.
Ollie, thank you for the host. Viper, thanks for the host if you hosted me.
Yeah, I am. Well, kind of more or less. I got you on my screen, so my feed is live. So I just got your page on my screen.
Awesome. And we're going to get going here in just a minute. Everything looks good. All right. So today is one of those, not as exciting as the last one, but we're going to make it exciting. So I'm going to let you stare at this vehicle because S7 Davis wanted to. There, he was mentioned. There you go. Now, I just wanted to bring up that we didn't abandon the Clickstar. Big Daddy's been doing some work on it, and it's looking pretty good. And I got a load of sugarcane to bring up to the whatever whiskey plant in just a minute. But he made it so it attaches to the standard AR dollies that we have there. Looking good. And as we bring you around, I'm going to try to point out everything. I made a list, so if I forget anything the first time around, we can get back to it. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that went into the map is invisible right now. Meaning like a factory needs to be built here or a new thing needs to be built there before you're even going to get to see it. And we don't have all the products on our map yet, but I wanted to put it on the live server. A little late with the update. Yeah, with the wheels. He put the front. It's all looking good. I'm liking it now. As far as the other trailers, I haven't looked at them yet, but everything's coming along good with the Clickstar. And I'm going to head up to the whiskey, and then we're going to run into, if you've been following the Trello boards, this week's biggest update portion was redoing the fruit system, the fruit trees. We added a couple new fruit trees, being pears and plums, along with some buildable orchards and some uses for those fruits. So we're going to check all that stuff out as we drive around here. We're just going to relax and take our time, because what I can't show you I will explain to you, and we'll go from there. Maybe we can actually see, and this actually is a portion, getting that whiskey plant going is part of what I wanted to show you guys, because there's another new feature up there as well. If you missed Big Daddy's show, what was it, Monday I think he broadcasted a show, or Sunday night? I can't remember.
Sunday, I believe.
Yeah, he released a few mods. I have a link for those. We'll show you those again as well, just in case you missed it. Some of them are ready to go. He's been doing some work on the mod site. You can notice I changed the orange stakes for the boundary markers. They used to be red and white poles, but now they're orange stakes. Lagging a little bit. We gotta shut down that ARC server when I'm broadcasting. Sucks up all the bandwidth. See if I can find my way through the forest. Where are you, Viper? You back there somewhere?
No, I'm hosting you. Or I'm just got your screen. I mean,
Oh, you're not.
No, I'm not on the map at all.
You're
No.
not on the map.
No,
I'm good.
I told you I wasn't gonna be. I was just gonna.
You know I don't
What's that?
listen. I don't listen.
Oh, okay.
No, that's alright. PJev03, thanks for the $20 donation. Very good. Good start for the night. Also, I wanted to mention we are getting close to, it looks like follower number 1,000 should be coming within the next couple weeks anyway, which would be awesome. We'll have to get a giveaway for that. Hopefully I have enough money in the account to do a giveaway by the time we hit 1,000, but we should. And also I wanted to thank everybody that donated offline after the show. There was probably 4 or 5 donations that came in, and I turned on my OBS software in preview mode the other day. I was recording a video. I was just recording a video of my creation on the Ark, and 18 follower alerts came across the screen while I wasn't broadcasting. I got 18 followers during the week, so that's pretty cool. Thanks to all the new followers as well. We are almost up to the little shack up here in the woods. And I'm gonna drop off some sugar cane. There's your little VW bug, which I think I will probably take from here. Maybe, who knows? We are out of sugar cane, but one of the things I wanted to check, Memelar, thanks for the $20 donation. That is awesome. You guys are great. We will definitely have a 1,000 follower giveaway when we get to that point. That's just sealed. Alright, I'm gonna, as you can see right now, there's a new product. I don't know if you can make that out on the screen, but pears can now be brought into the whiskey plant. And we just made 19 whiskey with that one click over. I'm gonna see, it's an average, so it's not gonna always be consistent, but I'm gonna bring up some pears. And basically, pears added to the whiskey is an alternative to the sugar cane. So if you put both pears and sugar cane into the whiskey plant, you will get two processors running at the same time. And it will increase your output double, basically. It'll use pears to create, as well as, which also does mean that your corn and your water is going to go down twice as fast. So 19, 29, 39, so that's 24 for that click. But let's go get some pears, and then we'll see how much this plant is producing, and you also get to see some pears. We've got all the fill plane. Let's see, where am I? One of these vehicles. There we go. All right, down to our building here. One of the changes, you guys will recognize this building. It is definitely too small from the last one to include the vegetables. So the vegetables are going to have a new home, especially when we go into the what do you call it, greenhouse update and add a couple new ones. They're going to need a different building altogether. So the tomatoes and the mushrooms have been replaced by your pears and plums in this building. And that corner is the plum pickup, so there we have some plums. We don't have enough pears.
You know, Rosenthal has two separate vegetable storage buildings.
Looked
One
at
has
'em.
like strawberries, cherries, and stuff, tomatoes and cucumbers. And then the other one's is
Yeah, I looked
tree
at them,
fruit.
and I'm gonna create something new probably for the other one. There were things about it that just weren't gonna work right for me. It's funny how that works. I try to look at a ton of different ideas, and literally the animals alone. If you take a look at the Trello board, you'll see 20 steps for the animal update that are currently on my list to get done. So we have pears, and I'm thinking that the icon has to be green pear for the pears, because I have green pears, and we can take a zoom in on that in my trailer, but the icon shows a yellow pear, but it's pretty good. You can't even really tell that they're pears. But they are. They're just so small. Oh, the fill plane shape? Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think any of us here know how to do the fill planes. We usually end up copying them from one vehicle to another. That's something that might be able to... Lord of Summis, thanks for the follow. That's something that we might be able to copy out of another one. But that trailer's a little bit longer, so it has to be the right size. That's the whole deal with those fill plane shapes. Otherwise, it'll stay the way it is. Let me wind all the way up here. So we were getting 19 to 24 whiskey each minute with just the sugar cane in there. Once we find my way, all I know is just keep heading toward the back corner and you'll find it. Yeah, they look like apples. They will probably be worked on a little bit more. It looks like pears in my editor. I think they need to be enlarged a little bit. So it's tough creating those. I have to create these planes from scratch. And right now the big thing was getting it working. You dump your pears right in the same place here. There you go. We have some pears. So now we're at 127 whiskey, and at the next tick we should use up some pears. This is the first time this is being tested. So by all means, if something fails, it's not my fault. No, it'll be fixed, but we'll check it out and see what happens. Not a lot of pears in there, but 127. Remember that number. Right now, they look like pears right there. There's not a lot in there because it's very low amount. It holds a lot, but there's pears in a box. And hopefully, when this rolls over to the next minute, so there you go, 43 now it's producing per minute. So we were at 24 the last minute, 19 the one before that. Now that we have both of them, it produced 43 a minute. So basically you're increasing your production by dumping pears in making some pear whiskey at the same time. The follow sounds up high, so it keeps me awake. No, we'll look at that again next week. I'll lower it a little bit more. But it is a little bit better. That's cool. Next thing is we have plums. Boy, do we have plums. And there's lots of things that go into the fruit update here that I will be showing you. Some of it you're going to have to tune into Viper's stream, Viper 278, during the week if you want to see these structures built completely, because they're not going to get built tonight. But we'll show you a little bit of that. They're in the store. We have orchards now, 5 different types of orchards, is it? One, or we got 6? 1, 2, 3, let's see. Pears, plums, apples, orange, cherries. So we have an orchard type for each of the tree types. And the thing with the orchards is you have to build them first. And I'm going to probably tip over my truck because I'm going to take a shortcut. Yeah! Alright, we made it. With the orchards, we finally get the block making and the cut wood factories their first use in the map, and we'll show you those again. Once I get over here, we're going to take a look, and I'll show you how an orchard is purchased, what it's going to look like, what you're going to have to do to prepare for placing your orchards down, as well as a few things in the future will hopefully make it a little bit prettier. I've got some ideas, but right now you can see around the building that we placed over here. We plowed it out, cultivated it so the grass doesn't show up through the base, and then you just plant some grass back around it and you're good to go. Leave a little dirt spot. Doesn't look bad. I'm hoping I can make some cement slabs that you can drop around certain buildings. But this here, right here, is an orchard plate that when you purchase it, this is what you're going to see. And to build your orchards, you need to supply it with 40,000 manure, 50,000 cut wood, which is 10 pallets of cut wood, 10 pallets of blocks, which is 50,000. This has not quite been filled yet, and 5,000 apples, which is only 50% on the scale, but if you overfill your apples, when the orchard's done, you'll be able to get them back out. One of the things that I did notice is that the project total isn't showing up on this currently, which I have to add it to the display trigger, which Viper will put that on the Trello board under a bug fixes for me. Seeing as he's not in game. But
I was sleeping. What was that again?
if you can make a note to put the project trigger on the orchard, or the project display on orchard building. It's just one of those little things that we test them live. I throw them in here, and I haven't even tested it. So, purchasing the orchards, we're going to go into my screen here. And I'm going to drop one down somewhere. Even though it's not going to look pretty, I'm probably going to just sell it off. But we'll show you it in the what happens when you purchase an orchard. Go into your store. Mods, placeables. And scroll. Icons subject to change. But let's see... which one do we want to do? Well, let's take the pear orchard, for instance. If I click buy, I don't have enough money. I have to log in. That's right. Ooh, did I try to do it so fast? I messed up. There we go. Now I have money. Someone on server is slacking on stump grinding. Oh yeah. When you go to click buy an orchard, you can actually get a little bit of a view of what your orchard's going to look like. You can't really... Oh, back up. You can't see the whole thing. That is the problem with large placeables. I'm going to set the angle here to turn on 30 degrees. You can kind of see how big it is. You can see the back fence there. But you would just place it. You can kind of see what it's going to look like when you build it. And we're just going to drop it here just for the heck of it. And all you're going to see when it's done is the platform. So now you have an orchard ready to build. Again, we would have plowed this out a little bit, but when it is built, you'll get what you just saw in stages. So 25%, 50, 75, and 100%. You will see more parts of the orchard. If you want to see it being built, like I said, Viper will probably be streaming throughout the week over here, building the orchards, and I'll probably be removing that one in the very near future because it's in the middle of our road. I'm going to go grab some plums. They actually look more like plums than pears look like pears, so let me see. Plum pickup is on this corner. They look more like plums because they are. They better. One of the things you noticed is one of the things I did not want to do is make the small trees obsolete. So when I made the orchards, I made it so you have to supply, basically seed the orchards with the crop type that you're producing. Again, for a plum orchard, you're going to need to bring plums over. One of the cool things about it is that when you make your orchards the first time, once you have an orchard, you can get rid of all the trees that you planted previously and get half the money back and just keep the orchards. And that would probably be the recommended thing to do. One of the main reasons for building orchards as well is people love to plant trees, but every single tree is another processor that's running on the server. Well, an orchard produces, and this is a plum orchard right here. I'm going to try to drop close to 5,000 because that's all we need. A little more. All right, we'll get the rest back. The orchard will run one processor, and it also has that slab is where your pickup point, your drop off for water, manure, and your pickup for the plums will all take place right out here on the slab when it's done being built, so you don't have to go around tree for tree. It produces 20 trees worth of product, same inputs and outputs, but you actually are going to have, it's like planting 20 trees, but it all in one processor. It saves on the server a lot. You'll be able to decorate your map, especially the large flat areas down below, with lots and lots of orchard trees. You're going to want to find flat areas for them so the trees aren't floating out in the distance, but we left plenty on the map for that. Over at the farmer's market, we have a plum and pear truck right now. And if I stop jumping around, the biggest little fruit stand. One of the things, I wasn't going to use these trucks because the file size was huge. And when I was looking at it, you could see the radio speakers actually have a little animation there. Well, this radio was playing a song. I had to take it out. The song was 53 megabytes worth of file. Whether I can find something small so it makes a little noise, maybe down the road. But right now, it's just decorative and it's a lot smaller, so it fits. Now, if I can find the dump spot for pears or plums, we'll put some plums in over here. And it should be here, but then again, it might not be because I built the thing. Let me check the triggers. I have a trigger box right there that doesn't seem to want to trigger. So yeah, this will work when it's done. Another thing to test, why is my thing not taking plums? And not triggering. But we will get that fixed. You will have plum and pear sales in the farmer's market, as well as lots of other things that are coming as we get into the other updates all the way around. Note number 2, Viper. Check the plum and pear dump trigger in the farmer's market.
10-4.
Like I said, we didn't test any of this stuff. ZRB888, this is our live testing. Unfortunately, I usually get our updates on Wednesday, and we try to hit as many things as possible, but every now and then it fails. So I have a bunch of plums I don't need. I'm going to bring those back around. One of the other things I wanted to mention is these fruit types will be added into several buildings where I see them applicable to increased rates of production or product production as an additional processor running. And our vodka factory is not built yet, but you are going to have 3 fruit types for creating 3 different vodka plant types as well. So each additional fruit type that's added into the vodka plant will increase the production on the vodka by 12 per minute, I believe it is, which really you can really start pumping out. You do need all the base products. You're just producing an extra flavor on the vodka. It doesn't use as much as of the base products when you use it. Uses half of the base product, which would be your potato. What else goes into vodka? Water. And when you're building the vodka plant, you will be able to add in cranberries for cranberry vodka, plum vodka, and there was one other one, cherry vodka. That's the third one, cherries. We're going to head over down this way to the warehouse. As I've been going around the map, I've been adding more and more of the orange stakes to define which piece of property you're purchasing when you purchase a piece of property, because they are no longer fields plowed there. It gets kind of confusing. But when you look at the map, you just stay within the stakes. So if I'm on the inside of the stakes right here, you can see that the stakes disappeared. This here, number 34, you just head toward the number, and basically you head in any direction and you can see where the property boundary is that you're purchasing. And this is really huge. It covers the area all the way over to this side of the road here. I'm just going to ride around the border so you can follow the border and see. Gobble Mr. TJ, thanks for the follow. You can kind of follow the border of the property line, just following the orange stakes. You see it juts back in over here around those 2 plants, and you'll see which piece of property you're purchasing for that whole little deal. The stakes go, where do they go? They actually go under the bridge. It encompasses, I'm stuck on the bridge. Get off the bridge. Goes over to here. Oh, it goes right around the dock. So all this property, if you wanted to purchase it, you purchase field number 34, and that's what you get, and you can use it for other stuff as well. And while I'm down here, I'm going to swing over to show you. This one actually is, I'm going to just outline this property because it is actually a little bit confusing for some. It cuts back. You just got to follow the stakes. Stay on the inside. You'll know what you're purchasing. Because this one actually purchases part of the hill up above as well. Just a small sliver, but it's one of those crazy pieces that I had to include somewhere. So. And ZRB888, thanks for the $10 donation. That is awesome. So you can see if you followed these stakes all the way around, you're buying all the property that is on this side, well over to this little corner here. So that's all included. It is actually a square plot that you're purchasing to make it easier. And P. Jeffs, thanks for the $20 donation again. You guys are awesome. I lose my train of thought every time I hear that. Thank God it's not too much louder. So there, if you run into a wall and there's no stakes, then you kind of know where you bought. So that is this big plot. It actually includes, this is probably the most confusing one because there's some on the upper level as well as some on the lower level. There are some places that won't have stakes you could actually try to purchase or try to plow out. Find little strips like this side of the road is, and actually you could plant stuff there and everything without even purchasing it. But anyhow, we're going to head over to the warehouse because there's some changes over there. Not a lot. But we're over here, so we're going to take a tour around. You could try to bribe me to release the map. And speaking of release dates, because it comes up every single broadcast, I really wish I had an idea. I am hoping, let's say, no later than the end of April. That's what I'm going to shoot for right now. Could be sooner, could be later. There's a couple of major things. One of them being this next animal update. It's got a lot of things I want to put in, and it's hard to tell what hurdles you're going to come across. And even after that, we're going to do a greenhouse update. And the animal update isn't all just about animals, but it includes support for the beat master and just a whole bunch of how they're going to be fed, and male and female of each animal. 2 new animal types that I'm looking at right now are the rabbits and the geese, and possibly horses, but who knows? We're going to see about that. So it's a lot. The animal update's a lot. And while we're on that subject, before I go inside here, with that being said, some weeks, like last week, there's so much tweaking that goes on right now of what's already in there that there's not always a lot of show content. But one of the things that people have been asking me is, can you do map tutorials on how to build your own factories? So, this is what I came up with. I'm going to, on weeks, like next week probably, it'd probably be about every other week, especially with might even have to be 2 weeks in a row with this animal update, but we'll see. Might not have to be at all. But on the weeks that I'm not going to be broadcasting a live map update, I'm going to start a map making tutorial series on Friday night that is how to use Jasper 2012. Thanks for the follow. I am going to do a UPK kit tutorial series. Start you off with the basics of the UPK all the way into building complex objects like are found on the maps here. So there's a lot that goes into building a factory, and to tell you the truth, I won't remember it all unless I'm doing it. We put the mushrooms and the tomato storage also in the warehouse down here, as well as on the side of door number 3. Whoa! I'm glitching out. I'm just moving around on the map. I love the walking bug you get on server. But you have your cherries, oranges, apples. So you don't need to use those little barns up there, but they're closer to the farm, and when they fill up, you can always deposit whatever you have. Let's get back in the truck. So you have your fruit silos here. Help! I'm bouncing off of walls. Oh, that's ugly. Where's my truck? Okay, so anyway, now that we're back in the truck, we have fruit silos over here, and I'm going to just take a zip around because we really have been working, but we haven't been filling the warehouse too much here. But you can see we've got now, and I wish I could jump out without, we've got 3 pallets, so each pallet represents 50,000 of the soy milk, 150,000 in the warehouse. And remember, it will hold 1 million, so pallets will line right back up. There's our whiskey supply filling up at the warehouse. And we have some bird seed as well over here in the warehouse. So yeah, the warehouse is going to hold just about everything. It's huge. You can drive around in it. Actually, you can take some of your wood pallets if you wanted to. The products that's on pallets that's movable, like the cut wood and stuff, and there's plenty of room to store that stuff in here in certain places as well. It's also accessible by boat, sort of. You can there are pick up and drop off triggers in the water for the warehouse, and that brings me to point number 3. Let me see if I can get out of here. We did a little bit of work on, as I drive, I'm looking at the chat and running into walls. We did a little bit of extra work on the map. Not the most thrilling things, but necessary things. And we'll just take a quick look at that. As I come down here, been adding some new roads in highly traveled areas. And that's one thing I look for, is where are people going to travel? And one of the things people always do when they came over here, this little road is actually new, because they're going to want to cut over to this side. So we put a little road in here. And down here by the main bridge, which we finally have built, we have a dock, so you can now bring the ferry over to the vodka factory for building, and also for bringing products in after it's built. There are triggers in the water right there, which I will give a demo of that in a little bit. Let's see what this factory needs. It needs lots of gravel, so I'll bring a load of gravel on the ferry over here in a little while. So yeah, we expanded some of the waterways to incorporate, and I got almost all the docks in. I'm going to take a ride around. Docks for dropping off products. There will be some loading docks eventually put into the water areas for loading up vehicles on the ferry to make it a little bit easier in certain places. But as you go down to the different factories, basically just pull the ferry up in front of the docks and you should hit the triggers, and they kind of look cool. They're right along the sides of the factories and everything. The tree in the road right there, yeah, well, you know, the tree was there first. Casper, Mr. TJ, thanks for the follow. That tree in the road, when it's cut down, will never come back. That's the good news. I do have to do a little bit of tree cleanup. There's actually a couple trees in the road. Speaking of roads, we're going to head down this way, because I did put in a couple of extra roads over here as well. And they're expanding as we go. Let's see. I'm going to show you those, and then we're going to get into some of the other things that we have. We got 7 railroad crossings now on the map for that big loop railroad that's going in circles over there. So when you're crossing the road, you don't get hit by a train. Don't want anybody to get hit by a train. Again, all these bridges are buildable. Another one of the projects I got to do is make those wooden bridges that we'll be crossing pretty soon buildable. One of the things that I also noticed, so there's a road here now that actually goes all the way and connects to the main road going north. It used to stop right about here, but if you're coming from the gravel pit across this way, you were driving across grass, so I threw that road in, as well as a big road that cuts across the middle of this field. And there may be more added as we go and we find out where people are driving on grass, highly traveled routes. Look at all the dead people. Wow, we've been playing a lot of hours already. There's 5 of them in there. If anybody has missed anything from previous broadcasts, or if I mentioned part about the something that you don't have a clue what I'm talking about, just ask to see it, because there's, other than the fruit stuff and hidden stuff and little tiny things that needed to be tweaked, like the railroad crossings being put in and some bumps in the landscape and a bunch of little stuff. And to be honest with you, what at the beginning of this week, normally when I'm done after this class, I take a break on Saturday, Sunday, play other games or whatever, then get back into it on Monday. But I did take about 4 or 5 days learning some more Unreal Engine. I've got a book. It's an excellent book for learning Unreal Engine. There's and also a lot of source material on the web for that as well. But I'm actually learning. I want to make my own game someday. So, and it'll probably be. We're planning on a farming game. We're trying to learn all the ins and outs of the farming game stuff. Here goes a train. You can see one. That's the old railroad crossing. If we followed the train all the way around this loop, anywhere where there's a road that crosses, there is a, of course the train can outrun me, there's a railroad crossing that will come down. So heading up this way, following the train track, you can see that one's down. Train's way faster than I am. But there's your second one for that crossroad. Then there's ones on the roads next to Campbell Soup, right there, as well as the other side of Campbell Soup has one. So any road that crosses over this whole area here has a railroad crossing. There's one right there. 7 in total. We, Dan, Hunter Farmer 101, and Sam Lewis, and Viper probably, they finished the Pepsi factory, so we're producing Pepsi finally. And there's the Pepsi factory finally built. And again, if you missed it in the previous update, if you decide you want to increase your Pepsi production right now, you can supply fuel as well. And there is your fuel tank right there. It's currently running on just coal, and coal produces power. So it's running on just their regular power, but fuel will give it an increase in production if you get a back stock of stuff. And also you got to supply pallets, and I am expanding the pallet triggers, but this one has not been done yet. Let me see if I can hit the right button, because it's kind of small. But you would drop your pallets off right next to right there, and you do need your pallets in the factories once again to create your product. We got a little bit of Pepsi on the conveyor. And most of the factories that require pallets, or have goods that are on those square pallets, require pallets. I'm going to run over to, as I go around the map over here, the block making company, because you guys I don't think have seen that operational. We had a bug in it, so you couldn't have seen it operational. We just started up for the first time. It's been in the map since, well, probably about a month now, but we hadn't had a use for it, so nobody tested it. But it's working now 100%. We're making the blocks for the first buildable whatchamacallit thingies there, orchards. If going over a cliff, check for a fence before jumping. Yeah, it's a good idea. Actually, the cliffs around here usually have water below them, which is never a good idea. You got to watch out when you're not on the roads on this map. Ask Viper. How many?
Yes.
There wasn't water
I
there
went
before.
swimming quite a few times.
Yep, but that's partially because, yeah, you never know when I'm going to do an update and throw more water on the map. There's lots of water on the map. And around every hidden turn, if you don't know where you're going, yeah, there's probably water there. I still think, like here, I want to get another road that cuts up across this way, because it's just kind of, I don't like to go around things. This is a direct route to the stone factory. So anyway, here is the block making company. At the block making company, you need gravel on that side, sand right there. It doesn't appear to be running right now, but it's probably because, oh, it is running. You can see it scooping there. Stone and lime. I'm going to try to jump out and see if I don't get all wishy crazy over here. So you can see the animation on the crane is pretty cool up there, scooping up the products, mixing them up. I'm going to turn off my HUD here just for the heck of it. And then it goes back around. It's a pretty cool little animation on the outside here. Let's go take a look on the inside. So as it's scooping, you can see this little thing right there actually fills up, goes up to the top. You can see it dump into the hopper up there, and you got some nice animation of the product coming out. And it goes through the block making machine, and your blocks run down your conveyor. So that's pretty cool. Gotta like that. And then you have the claw that picks them up. Let me go around the other side, get a better view of that. So it's kind of cool. It's stacking up your pallet of block. And you also have your little pallet collector on there as well. You can walk up to the box. If you have your HUD on, you can see that it has 75% full on that last pallet there. While I'm down here, I'm going to offload the pallets a little bit away from the conveyor, because one thing when you're using the auto lifting trailers, and I don't know if we mentioned this before, but you don't want to take it directly off the factory part that's building, or you're going to have to restart the server or your game to get it to function. It doesn't realize that it's been lifted off of that spot. So you move them away a little bit. They're heavy. Cement blocks lift that JCB rear end right up.
Time for a new clock forklift.
Well, yeah, I brought the JCB over here because I figured you weren't using it anymore.
Nope.
But yeah, you can bring a Clark over here. Go for it. The Clark forklift, we definitely got to get back in the mod pack. I don't know if you guys even know what the Clark forklift, but
Already is.
is it still in there? Well, it's definitely got to be a part of this one.
I mean, Big Daddy put it on the map already.
Yeah, it's on our map, but I want to make sure everybody gets it too this time, because I think we left it out of version 2 of Pleasant Valley. I don't know if it's even in that folder.
I had it in the folder. I can't remember if... Oh, version 2? We had it in version 1, I know. But I think
Right.
version 2 did not have it, because I don't see it in there anymore.
I don't think it's in there. But it's one of those things, definitely got to get it out there. Alright, so that brings me to Big Daddy's creation. Here we are.
Are those stackable this time?
U.S. trailer. If you missed his show on Sunday, he released a link to a few mods, and this is one of them, and I will give a link out for you guys again. The PV Rivers, again, Mickey, is probably, I'm shooting right now for the end of April. Could be sooner, could be later. There's a lot of polishing. I want it done as soon as possible. Because I want to work on another project after this one's done. So we're working on it. But there's a lot, you'd never know with some of the hurdles that are to come if you're going to get stuck somewhere here or there. And sometimes you just got to step away and regather your thoughts and get back to it. So it's really hard to, at this point, to pin a release date down. I do have finally a roadmap to completion. I know exactly what I want to get done because the map is just about at the point where we can't squeeze too much more into it other than what I already have planned, I don't think, because we're running resource heavy, to say the least, with everything new that's in here. The fruit types we had 2 more field types with the 2 new fruit types. There's going to be, with the animals, probably about 11 more, which will put us well over 100 field types in the map. But one of the things Big Daddy's been doing and he did release this last week, and I'll get you guys the link, along with a couple other things, and I'll explain those before I give you out the link, so you know everything that's in there. This trailer now can pick up everything on this map, and will be able to, that comes on a pallet. And if it's going to be put in here, voila, you're going to be able to pick it up. So we've got a couple of pallets loaded up, simple as that. It does the Pepsi machines that are over on the PV version 2. So if you're never use the Pepsi machines because they're a pain in the butt to move around, you don't need to worry about it anymore. This will move the Pepsi machines. It'll move the blocks. One of the things with all the additional pallet types that we're using on this map that we wanted to do, and he made it happen, was get an easier way to move them around. So those people that don't like to fuss with the forklifts that much, or trying to keep things on a truck, they don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to bring these up to the Plum Factory thingy. Actually, we'll bring it to the Apple, because that one is in the process of being built. It only needs 1 more full pallet, and then it's ready to go. So I'm going to take, where am I going from here? Alright, we're going to go over the rest of the mods that Big Daddy gave me to and previewed on Sunday. Number 1, simple. It's a simple mod. It's the corn header, the Capello corn header. If you notice with the standard Capello corn header, your harvester combine when doing corn, that's not the one, only goes, what is it, 6 miles an hour with the standard corn header. Well, he made a modded version that if you use that one, your little combine will go, whoops, offload. Work position X, unload, pick this, there you go. So 1 more pallet of cut wood. This processor is not actually running yet, so we gotta, we'll be working on that, figuring out what I did wrong there. But it'll be filled when it's ready. And the cut wood goes in there as well. The corn header is part of the package. It's pretty simple. Secondly, let's see what else. I had to write them down. This trailer picks up all the types of bales. He had to make an edit to the Krone Ultima. I'm not exactly sure. Watch back BIGDADY 012678. You can watch his latest video on Twitch, and he'll explain why the trailer didn't pick up all those bale types because of the different size, the Krone Ultima, the way Krone Ultima made them. So he had to make a couple tweaks. the tweaked version is in here. Loading that baler in, it basically is a tweak to the bales, I guess the way they were named. So it actually does convert all the bales that are on the map. As soon as you put that baler in, you'll be able to pick them up. It's kind of cool the way that worked out. Even if you already have ones made with the baler prior to the using the updated version. It's just something in the bales he had to rename. The actual bales, one of the transform groups had to be renamed, for those of you who are kind of know what I'm talking about. And once that change was made, all the bales are now able to pick up with this trailer. And there was something else in here as well. What else did he have in there? The Krone Ultima US trailer, the Capello header. Oh, the Fliegel Timber Runner. Is that the... Do you know if that was the wood trailer? Did he have to do something? Oh, that's the one, the auto-loading one. Correct? Yeah, that's what he showed.
Yeah, the timber runner to auto-load the trees.
Yes, so... Do we have one on the map?
Yeah.
Alright, let's cut down some trees. I gotta bring this over there anyway.
Should be over by Cogent, parked in the garage, I think.
Sounds good. So if you missed it, there is a auto-loading tree trailer as well. And while I'm at it, the mod download link, just you can type !BIGDADDY, Big Daddy, and you can get a copy of all of those mods ready to go. In addition to the work that he's done on the Clickstar and is still working on, he also added, and when we release this, you will get the Chevy pickup that we've been driving around. I'll jump in that real quick, show you which, so you know which one I'm talking about. This little guy here now has a passenger script, so you can drive a passenger around in it, as well as, even though we have it deactivated currently, we're still tweaking some things for the damage mod. The cool thing about the damage mod is if you want to use it, you drop it in and it'll work. He ran through on Sunday as well a way to tweak some settings in the damage mod, I believe, in his videos. But if you don't want to, and we'll have one that's tweaked well for our map, we think it creates too much damage still. We've been lowering some numbers before we activate it. But this can also be the repair vehicle for the damage mod as well. The script's built into it. Back over to wherever I was. Oh, that's still over here. I don't know how many vehicles I left on tonight. Lowboy with locking script. Locking scripts do not work on servers still. So, we kind of abandoned the whole trying to get a locking script to work on a server. And it won't be in our... There are some, they work fine on single player, but the size of this map, yes, we know a lot of you guys play it on single player, and we are trying to... I'm listening to Viper this time for course play users to make sure it's course play friendly.
So far, I see no problems with it.
But as far as putting our efforts and time into trying to figure that out after we've probably tried for like 50 hours or so in the past, it's not happening. So we're going with this trailer, and everything that's on this we'll be able to lock on here. I mean, picks them up nicely. Alright, so what am I looking for? We got a lot of boards in storage. That's pretty awesome. Oh, you know what we never did? Oh, do we have any boards on a... on a sawmill over here? A pallet? Full pallet? Yeah! I'm going to try to load up a couple of those and bring them down to the little sell point down below too a little bit later. You can take off of these with this trailer. You just can't take the one that's being built. So don't get too close. This does take, oh yeah, Z key to change pallet type. Pepsi pallet, wool pallet, wood pallet. Got 2. Try to get a couple more. Actually, I don't want to sell them all on these guys, so 2's good.
You gotta leave the one that's on the first one built on the pad.
The one that's...
Don't take that one off.
Yeah, the one that's still...
No, not the one being built. The one that's already built. Leave that one there.
The first one that's already built?
Yeah, correct.
The one that I just picked up?
I'm on the delay, so I'm not sure which one you picked.
The end
No,
one?
no. The one that's
The one
closest to
just
the one
after
being
the
built.
one that's being built?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so that one you don't want to pick up, or you got to restart. You don't want to pick it up directly off the thing. It kind of throws...
Correct.
It doesn't realize it's there, so just make sure you guys know that. Let's go find that other trailer over here somewhere. Oh, is it that one back there? I think it is.
Timber trailer you talking about?
Yeah, it's that timber trailer right there, I believe.
Yeah, it should be. Usually it was parked in the garage last time I seen it.
Yep. We'll hook that bear up. Drop a couple trees down. We actually, with the how dare Viper be so demanding. First he makes y'all spend $500,000 on damage repairs. Right.
No, I said I paid for that myself.
Yeah.
That didn't come off the server money.
Let's cut a tree down. This is something I never do, play the game. Timber! I'm not doing a bunch of them. I'm just going to do a couple. So you guys get an idea. We'll trim them up a little bit just in case. Now, from my understanding, it will take a whole tree, won't it?
Yes.
But I'm going to cut it in half just to make it more interesting. We have more pieces.
Yeah, cut them in half will work better. Unless they're short ones. Short ones have no problem. It's the 40 meters. It's the one that
Yeah.
has the issues of dragging. You don't even have to do that. You can pick them up just like they are. Especially if you're bringing them to the sawmill.
You don't have to delimb them.
Nope.
I like to delimb them. They're prettier.
Yep.
Now, I have never used this. I leave the mod testing to you guys. But let's see what happens.
Jeff is working getting a locking script for that, though.
Is he trying to do the locking script on there?
Yeah.
Alright, so...
So that way the logs will stay on there when you drive off them. It will slide down off the
Oh,
rack.
yeah. Okay. So we have a start load by pressing B. Let's see what happens. Well, that's weird. But it did it. It picked it up. It's on my roof. This...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It puts it on the roof depending on the length, but then when you drive off, it will slide off the rack, off the headache bar there, and then fall down into the back. If you take off off the auto load.
Okay, so when I take off the auto load, I'm gonna...
Yeah, they'll slide back.
Oh, there you go.
Because if you keep it on, it'll only go like 3-4 miles an hour.
All right, so there you go. I've got a few trees picked up. Gotcha. Yeah, so you could cut them a little shorter. They'd fit right in there too. But you can pick up trees pretty darn easy with that thing. Oh, and then you could lose one, just like I always did. But if you lose it, you can pick it up easy again.
Right.
Will it restack them if I guess it'd have to fall off the trailer completely. Let's go over. Oh, there goes one. Yeah, so he does want to get a locking script on this. I guess we'll see what happens. I'm going to go over to the box and just dump them over here. Exclamation point, Big Daddy, to get the 4 mods that I showed you that are from his Sunday show. If you missed last week, exclamation point, what was it again? MFS Plus for my mod folder Switcher Plus that has been updated, and I actually got a couple new features going into that one. Right now I only have one of them ready, so I don't have a new copy yet, but yeah, there'll be one of those coming up as well with a little bit more stuff in that thing. Let's see, where do I want to park this? We'll stick it in this garage. One of the things is that I know I got my big bar that's across, and it kind of, every time you open it up, my bar with all the ads are there. For our well, all the links to our website, we'll call them. What it will do, the version I'm using, or in my editor, it defaults to wherever you left it. So if you last viewed the other bar, it'll stay on that, you know, rather than always opening up to have the button bar for our website on the top, all our websites. So that's one thing I wanted to do. The other thing I want to do is I want to put some extra functionality like checking to see if your drive control mod is installed, and then giving you toggle buttons to turn things on and off for those people that don't know how to do that, as well as a toggle button to turn on and off your developer tools, because they're all in the same location. So those are a couple of the extra features that I'll be building into that someday. Map is priority number 1 over here right now. Please do not mole out.
No, it says please shot mole out.
Oh, please shot mole out. Yeah, my eyes are going bad. Not as bad as Danny's, but they're bad. What does shot mole out mean?
I don't know. I was reading that too. I don't know what he means.
Okie dokie.
Unless he meant please shoot mole out.
We're going to go down here and we're going to show you that actually the animation on that little crane working. Sorry guys, I'm selling some of those hard-made wood pallets already just for demonstration purposes. But hey, just a couple. Whoa, airtime. Then I'll take out the ferry and pick up that load of gravel and bring it over to the vodka plant and see if those triggers are working. We'll cross one of the new... Actually, I don't think we got to cross a bridge down here. Ooh, there's... Yeah, we might have to. I can't remember. See, I never use roads. Just head down the middle of the grass. What fruit types are going to be in the new map? I will show you real quick. It's a good question. And we'll take a look at what we have in the store already. You have your wheat, barley, canola, corn, potatoes, sugar beet, wood chips, sunflower, millet, sorghum, sugarcane, hemp, cotton, soybean, rice, coffee, cranberry, tomato, mushroom. Then you have your birdseed, bread, textile, whiskey, beer, coal, snacks, Pepsi, vodka, sand, gravel, salt, stone, cereal, paper, boards, glue, drywall, cement, apple, orange, cherry, plums, pears, carrots, onions, cheese, soup, compost, washed potato, pizza, ore, gold, limestone, lime, gypsum, calcium carbonate, steel, resin, soy milk, hops, cut wood, charcoal, pallets, blocks, beef, and silage. That's a lot. And we are going to have, and I'll take it's not ready yet, but there will be animal types that are added in in place of the beef and all the, yeah, more animal types, as well as more products that the animals are going to be making.
Dan disconnected.
So that's the fruit types. If you missed it, play it back. Oh yeah, while I'm down here, I made a little bit of changes to the silos along the waterfront, except that's not one of the ones I changed. I'll show you the ones I've changed already in a minute. Whoa, where am I going? This side. So in the past we showed you this, and we actually never really tested this to see if the sell point works either. So this is a good time to test the board little crane out. Pull up here into the little chute, and you park underneath. Let's see, 383,580. It's an animation, as well as it missed a little bit, but it kind of gives you an idea. When it goes up, yeah, I should pull. Let's see if it works. Is it going to work? It looks like it's moving boards, but it took off boards and didn't put any on there. Now I think it should have sold them. Maybe it only works with a full truck. That would kind of stink. Let's let it go through again and see if we get some extra money. Might need some adjustment on this. It thinks it's picking up 2 and it's still leaving my boards on the truck. It's cool looking, but not quite working. I mean, it works on single player. It's just one of those things. Hopefully we don't have to remove it and we can get it to work properly. But it's not selling my boards, and it's picking up 2 at a time and still leaving mine. So I think it's just a trigger adjustment. We'll check that out as well. Yippee-yi-yay.
The normal animation picks up 2 pallets like that.
Normal animation does?
No matter what no matter which vehicle you have.
But it usually
You could have
sells them when it picks it up, right?
Well, it never did. I mean, it never worked for us yet.
It should. The cell trigger is built onto the crane, so when it comes down, it's supposed to get rid of
Make
the
the 2
two
disappears, okay.
and then pick up. So the trigger is probably just a little
Well,
bit.
put your controls on and see where it's looking at.
Oh, is my trailer lock on? Good question.
Yeah.
I have to release them, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Well, that is why I'm so stupid, and I don't test these things. I forgot this trailer has a lock. Let's go back! Quick! Whoever mentioned that, get her done. Thank you very much for the little tip there, because
Yeah, get her done. Said that.
I have to put it on unload position. That would be smart. On B. Unload center and keep it on. Yeah, let's try this again.
Well, you don't have to do unload. I mean, you just take your lock
Well,
off.
it is. You have to unload center on this trailer.
Yeah, right.
In order to unlock them,
Yeah.
because it doesn't actually have the locking script. So when I pull under here, what we do is hit the O key, and it unloads them on the trailer. Now let's see what happens. It'll probably actually work this time. I'm gonna have to line it up to make it look right. Alright, back up, back up. There we go. I'm a little off-centered, but hey. It doesn't know I'm here now, because I'm out of the line. There, that's good. Maybe, maybe not. It didn't look any different there. To me. Unless it sells it at this point. Or I'm missing. I could be just missing. But they're detached from the trailer. I am not in the box. I can't drive through these walls.
You're probably not in a trigger box.
That's what I'm guessing. It thinks I am. But I think it has to actually...
That's it. The normal animation normally pulls 2 pallets.
Yeah.
Whether you're in a Volkswagen Buggy, you'll still have 2 pallets show up.
But it's not hitting the... And it's probably because I'm a terrible driver. Could be.
But check your def controls, see where your trigger's at.
It's tough because the trigger's on the claw. And I don't know if I can... Whoops, wrong button. There you go. Did you see that time? It just sold one.
Like,
Now watch it come down on the other. You'll see it. It's going to come down on the other one. There we go. It's a positioning thing. Now it looked real. And we got the money for him already. Yay, it works.
I'm watching somebody drive forward and backwards.
You'll see it looked realistic that time. So that's how that works as a sell point.
Yeah, okay, you got it now, yeah. You're,
Jeff connected.
Yeah, you got to just get there just right.
Cool. Onward. Where was I headed after that? I don't remember. Let's jump the curb. Heading down through the village. We're going to go over and fill up a whatchamacallit?
Jeff entered channel.
Hey, Big Daddy.
Hi, guys.
How goes it?
Goes good. How about you guys?
Not bad.
Good.
Tough turn. Tough turn ahead. Just showing the trailer again. I gave out your link. Once again.
Sweet.
There's Big Daddy here. You can thank him for all the work he's done on this trailer. And I'm actually going to take the ferry out for a ride.
Nice.
Jump in. Joke. We're going to see if I'm going to test the triggers over at the vodka plant, and I'm going to put the whole 500 shot, if we have it, of gravel into the vodka plant to build it. So, we have to build some boats down here along the shore, too. Oh, actually, no, we don't, because we're probably going to do a boat revamp and make some changes to those, too. Let's head on over this way. One of the other things Big Daddy did this week was he put the ore into the big dump truck for me, because we didn't have that set up yet. As well as, what else was there? Lime and some of the other products needed to be added into that dump truck. I don't know which ones.
Calcium carbonate, if I remember correctly.
Yep. So they're done. They is done. See, that's the stuff that goes into this update. And if you want to see the updates, just go to the Trello. I actually linked the Trello board. And there's a link for previous updates, and you can see what we've done in each of the... Every time the server goes live with one of our new patches, I move everything that's been done in that update to another location. But we have the link to that board as well. And you can really kind of get an idea of what you're going to see here before we even show it. A little bit of an idea anyway. Unless I put... Yeah, I like that bridge. And you're going to have to build those bridges. Sorry. But you're going to use your cut wood pallets from the cut wood factory making thingamabob to build the wood bridges. Yes. Let's go into... Where am I going? Gravel. First left through the salt to the back. Hopefully we have some in the silo over here. Otherwise oh wait, this isn't gravel. That's stone. I don't know if I mentioned last week. Were we back in here? Did you guys see that I put the digital displays on the silos down in here? The blue ones? They look pretty cool.
I did on my stream, yeah. Yeah, I noticed they were there.
Yep. So the digital displays are now on the silos.
Still gotta put the gravel in that one silo though. Still missing the words.
It's not gonna get them probably. No, I actually maybe.
I'll put a picket sign out front.
Okay. We know that the one that doesn't have a label is gravel. We shall see. You can put it on my fix list, and I'll take care of it.
Okay. I got your other ones
As
on
well
the
as
fix
while
list
you're
already.
there, there's one other thing that needs to be taken care of. New particle system for ore. It's showing a gravel particle system at the silo.
Okay.
Those are all the little things that aren't very exciting, but still have to be taken care of. And I'll show you what I mean. If I go over to the ore silo over here, and there probably isn't any ore in it, so it wouldn't be showing us, but we'll check anyway. Yeah, there's a little bit there, 199,000. If I pull underneath and hit the ore button, the color doesn't quite match. But we do have a fill plane. So we gotta change that little thing to make it look like ore is spilling out of there. Every little thing helps.
Yeah, I did add the dump particle system as well. So if you drive underneath the ore, fill up, and go to dump it and shoot at the bottom, it's a little bit darker. It's nothing. It's harder to do, but at least it's a little bit darker.
Yeah, it's a little better than the. Yeah, they are tough to do, and it really is just a coloring thing. You can change the size of the particles like I did with the coal, but it's tough if you're not familiar with that junk. Like I'm not. It's just I can only edit the graphics a little bit and tweak things that are already in there. Oh yeah, we got the gravel we need. There better be an empty silo down below. There are so many things on this map that I did have to put a limit for now. I cut off all the new ideas that everybody are bringing, even Big Daddy. You know, it would be really great if you added liquid manure to the orchards. The orchards are done. They're not getting touched. I gotta move on. But you never know. Speaking of which, there is a very good possibility, because I do want to get this guy done for you guys. And if you mention, I did mention in my last broadcast, add-on packs. The map is quite huge, and I don't want it to get to the point where you guys that can play PV version 2.2 can't play it, or you're on borderline. So in theory, and it should work, but we haven't tested it yet, if all works well, for visual details and stuff like street signs, fencing around extra places, maybe just decorative items on the landscape, you know, clotheslines in backyards of that type of thing. They're going to be in an add-on if all goes well, so you guys will be able to use it if you need it. If you start having issues with the server, you can take it out, and it might free up some of your graphic, you know, you just might be able to run it that much better. Because in the beginning, you should be able to run the add-on just fine, but as you get your 40 fields or whatever you're going to build and plant and trees and everything else, where am I going? Oh yeah, silos. Then if it starts slowing down, you're going to have options to remove a few things. One of them you can move is the mist mod out. That will save you some time. It looks great, and we're still using it without any issues. But if you guys have issues, those are things that take a little bit of bandwidth, and cutting them out will make the map function. Firm Defumier, if I'm saying it correctly. If I'm not, I apologize, but thank you very, very much for the $50 donation. That is awesome. Where are we with the follower count? Can anybody see my follower count out there? I don't have that up. I'm looking at just the...
6 of 30.
What's that? Not for that, but total
6.
total followers. On this.
Oh, total followers?
866.
866? I thought it was higher
Yep.
than that. Well, when we get to 1,000, we're going to have a giveaway, and I'm going to start putting a portion of everything that comes in toward that giveaway, so it could get quite large. We shall see. Who knows? Maybe we'll just pre-purchase FS7. Oh, it won't take that long. We've been going up. Like I said, I actually went up 18 followers while I was offline during the week. Where am I going? And if you know me very well, and a lot of you do, I can't drive and talk at the same time.
We see that in Dirt Rally.
I don't talk in Dirt Rally.
And you still can't drive, so what's the excuse here? Nah, just kidding.
Oh, wrong turn. This way. And I'm still getting used to the map. I like this dump truck. I just wish we could get the new fill plane in it. The dynamic ones.
Totally agree.
So any modders out there want a job that we can't tackle? Yeah. Give us actually you just need a shape, I believe, right? Isn't it just
Correct.
a shape? If anybody has any like 3D modeling experience and can do a shape that fits the bed of this truck, just yeah, that's all we need.
That's, yeah.
And then we can make that fill plane happen. And I'm going in circles. You like the little water puddle in here? Whew, that was a lot of work just to get back to this silo. The map packs are going to be available for everyone. You can use it if you want to. And actually, what would be cool, I don't know if I can get anybody to participate in this. Anybody that likes to mod and likes to do things, actually, that are on my team here. Anybody out there? Now, they can actually I can teach them how to place objects. They just got to be in one transform group in the map, and I can add them into the pack if you guys want to. Like, I know Andre has messed around with it a little bit. If you want to spice up the place, and we'll take a look and see what will fit and what won't, we can throw them in. But yeah, we'll definitely have, there may be a couple different ones. So if you don't, I'm thinking right now a fences pack. So the people that don't want fences entirely, and we might even include the road signs with the fences, and then just a general decorative pack separate from that with other cool objects. And we don't have an airport on this map, but if we did, it would include the planes, you know, for the runways and the things that are a lot of triangles, but they so it won't work on everybody's system. Purely
We can
decorative
incorporate,
items.
yeah, we can incorporate flying grassy hoppers.
Oh yeah.
At least on single player, you can have flying grassy hoppers, but no planes.
You would like to see working Morton buildings, like the salt company? Is that what you're talking about? Take our salt over to Morton Salt?
I'm not sure what he meant. He put it on the forum, and I don't know. He didn't put no link to see. I don't
Is a
even know
Morton
what
building.
it is. I have no clue
I
either.
know of Morton Salt.
Yeah, that's the only one I know. I haven't seen any mods that says Morton Building on it at all.
And that is the thing that I run up against, is there are a lot of ideas, and especially now that, that silo is non-collisionable. Mark that down.
What
Silos
is?
non-collisionable on the water at the yeah, where are we? Oh, the water silos.
Oh, by the quarry? Okay.
Yeah, they might all not be non-collisionable actually.
Okay.
I never had that happen.
Now, your camera angle, I'm looking at your Dajnet mod overlay. I can't see your screen when you drive like that. You don't angle it down over the cab a bit better.
Gotcha.
So I'm looking at just what we see is we're above your cab, but looking straight down to the ground more or less, so we can't see out.
Yeah.
Further down the road.
Gotcha. Yeah, so those don't have collision on them.
Yeah, I'll put
Remember
that in
again,
there, too.
people, these things will be fixed. This is how we find it. We play test probably more than anybody. We play the map from start to finish before you get it, and we find all these little things as we're playing. And there's just so much to do, but those are the easy things to fix afterwards. So they'll be done. The silos on the water need to get some collision on them so you can't drive through them. I got a place. Oh, the Morton building. Ah, you're talking about those farm buildings. They are too laggy. On this map, we'd have to strip them down completely of all their extra functions in order to get them to run for everybody on the map. That's why they're not in here. They're nice buildings, but that's the problem when you're working on a map with all these things that are in it. You sacrifice. Some good things have to go, and those things just, if you get near them, they're going to lag several people out, especially the lights that are inside. And you know what? If you take the lights out of those Morton buildings, they're dark inside. I've tried it. So that is one of the big things. I believe, do they make those placeables yet? That's the kind of thing that people can add in if they made them into placeables. And after I do my UPK kit classes, you can probably make them into placeable objects yourself. Cowboy, thank you for the host. Thank you very much. I don't know how much of this stuff we loaded up yet, but we're going to fill that silo up. Yeah. At Wolfie, make a fill plane shape in Blender. There you go. One thing I am not learning really right now is modeling. I've got some nice models. Turbo Squid's great for some models. We're going to have a new cow model in the map if all works well for some of our cow buildings. But warehouse regarding fruits. At this point, our fruits are in our main warehouse, and we're going to stick with the little... I've looked at everything that's on the... Oh, wait. If it's in the forums, unless somebody brought it over to the Trello board, I didn't see it. If somebody out there sees it, wants to put it, I'll take a look at it. It won't be used as a fruit building because... Oh, I'm going the wrong place. Again, can't talk and drive at the same time. But hey, this is our little... stone crushing facility. It's kind of cool. I might be able to use the building for something else that we still have yet to design, so that, replace the fruits with the vegetables that are coming up type of thing. So we'll have to take a look at that. One of my forum Trello people can put a link into the Trello board of that, and I will take a look at it. But as I said, we're at a point where we're pushing limits. There's several things that have to come into this map that have to be done. And literally, ideas can be endless now that we know what we're doing. We could create anything we want, literally, as far as product-wise. And if you do the research, I researched pigs and cows this week. I just researched what are pigs used for. And yeah, Big Daddy, you remember that hospital that didn't actually show up?
Yes, sir.
Well, did you know if we had a laboratory that pigs are used in making over 40 different medicines?
Wow.
Exactly, research. And their hair is often used for boar's hair brushes.
Do you realize we take chicken eggs to a flu vaccine? That's what they're used. They use the actual egg to make one flu vaccine at a time.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Why is this trigger not showing up for me? The display trigger. It worked yesterday. Let me get the boat over. Load the boat up. Did you know interesting facts about pigs? I have it all written down right here in front of me. Oh, good. We have an empty boat. For those of you who haven't seen the little boats, we've got a dock here that needs... The grass isn't there on the original game. It's just when I do edits on the textures like that, they don't always get removed from our game because they were... But yeah, the grass is out of there. Let's take the ferry for a ride. Turn on the hood. Oh, duh. Thanks, Wolfie. I turned it off so everybody could see. I'm looking for the trigger. I don't have the HUD on. We have 315 of 2 million, so I need 500,000 in there before we can fill that boat up full load. You guys are funny. Hit F1! F1, everybody! I'm never turning that off again. So anyway, in my pig research, which, you know, you gotta research these things in order to get them somewhat correct. Did you know that hogs that are used for truffles are always female? Anybody know that? Well,
No.
now you do. I bet you that's exciting because being that I
Never heard that before.
being that I want to separate male and female species in the animal update, I want to have different uses for them. So the animals that will be just like the male cows will be going for, you can bring a female cow to beef too, but only females in the dairy barn will produce dairy, obviously. Well, with the pigs, only the females in the female pig barn will produce have a chance of finding truffles. And the males pretty much primarily be used for bacon and mating with the females in the mating stations that we shall create. And on top of that, do you want to know why it's the females that are used for truffle finding? Nobody wants to know, huh? It's because the truffles actually have a scent that is similar to the male pheromones. Therefore, a male is not very excited about sniffing up another male and will not find your truffles. Okay, so that's basically why females are used for truffle finding. Therefore, we have a reason and a little bit, and I also have facts, other stupid facts on pigs. So yeah, part of it, research. I know you guys probably think I dream up some of these combinations in the factories, but when you really look it up, you'll find out that, oh yeah, that's why that's being used over there. Like the calcium carbonate. It's a rock. Why is it going into my soy milk? Because it's one of the main ingredients in soy milk, believe it or not. As well as sometimes used in products such as toothpaste. So basically what I was getting at with that whole thing is we could create just about anything we want. Factories are a dime a dozen. We don't have the room for them right now. Additional, whoops, that's the Invisitrain block there. I just hit the Invisitrain. Only happens on servers. The train doesn't actually go through when you see it. So you might hit invisible train. Thus, the damage mod hasn't been working out too well on the server. We gotta get the damage down just in case you hit the invisible train. Now, there is a preventative measure, but it didn't work for me that time. A little box that pops up that would stop you from going through, even though you can't see the train. We're almost there.
Do you realize a fun fact about chicken? A hen must eat 4 pounds of feed to produce 1 dozen eggs.
Cool.
And most eggs are laid between 7 and 11 a.m.
Really? See, I want to incorporate a little bit more realism, and I don't know how it's going to work because of the thing that's always bothered me about Farming Simulator is quantities, you know? I mean, where do you take a chicken and have a... It's just off, the quantities that things produce. So, we have 300 cows in a cow barn. You know, not quite what's going to fit in that little cow barn. If I put the models in there, you get about 20. You know what I mean? Thus, the the new animal system, converting the animals into meats, you get higher numbers. Granted, it's still not going to be 1-to-1, but when you bring a cow to the slaughterhouse, you will get so many pounds of ground beef, so many pounds of steak, so many pounds, or liters, we're going to call it, because that's what they use in here, liters, and get different products. And they will be to scale, but they'll probably have an extra 0 or 2 on the end, you know? That's the way we got to do it. Yeah, the server, to explain the train thing, when you're playing on a server, trains aren't synced up. The visible part of the train is not synced up amongst players. So if we were to live stream 2 side-by-side streams and you were to see Viper over here and me over here looking at the same area, you will not see the train go by at the same time. It will be on mine at some point, and it will be on his at a totally different time, the visible train. The collisionable train does go through, but it's only correct for the server and none of the players. So when you see the visible train, it's really not there. The collisionable train is in the same place for everybody. They're just not synced up on the server, so you can hit it when it's not there, and it's just an unavoidable stupid thing that Giants hasn't fixed for us with this old train style. So it actually works the same way for a few other things too. When you have those planes in the air, the boats in the water that are on splines, any of those maps, if they're on a server, you don't actually see it. And unfortunately the train's on the ground, so you can hit it even though you don't see it. When you're on single player, it's not an issue because you're the only one playing. You are essentially, you see both at the same time. So the railroad crossings actually work for the visible one, but not the collisionable one. Now, there is a block, and I can show you that real quick here. On the tracks, I'll turn around and try to show you. Where am I? Where's my railroad crossing? You see that block that's up in the air right there? It's invisible, but you get a block like that right on the ground. To block the truck, you can't see it, but when the invisible train is there, a blockade does pop up. So if you do use the proper side of the railroad crossing, when the train's coming through, you'll just hit the invisible block. The best bet is to just go slow through there, and the block will stop you if it's there, even though you can't see it. Can't make the block visible because it's always there, unfortunately. And it would just hang out in the, you know, kind of one of those just weird things. So now that I bored y'all to death with me rattling on about pigs, we're going to go pick up some gravel. We've got enough. Go find the boat. And for those of you who have missed the boat, that's pretty funny. Missed the boat. Didn't even realize I was saying that. Here we are again. And it does fit under the bridge. Yes, I can't do anything about the antenna clipping through, but it's non-collisionable. So, you're good to go. And I can't wait till you guys get to drive this, because it really does feel like a boat. Takes a while to build up your speed. Casper had an idea I missed? Or Casper? Jasper? Oh, see, can't drive boat while in, here, let's turn off that 5 key while looking at chat. The job board made it a job to put the cows back in. If they could bring back the job board. Oh, the missions? Missions are customizable to some point. I don't know if we could do something with that. We are going to be bringing customized missions back in. We'll see what we can... That's a whole nother update. We shall see what we can do with customizable missions when we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
No, KW, no, I haven't hit a tree yet, but I did get it stuck on the bank.
Getting the boat stuck, we went through last video, and we'll do it when we do the tutorial series, how to reset a boat if you get it stuck. The best thing though, once you have 2 boats, you just push it. Usually you can get it unstuck. We got Viper's boat unstuck. And again, I did an update. When I finally release the map, you will actually see the water under the bridge, but every time I save a release, it's gonna do that, so I'm just gonna save that for last. I know how to fix it. It's just an extra step I have to do, and I'm not gonna raise every bridge off before the save until the end. We'll get her done at the end. So the bridges don't have water underneath them again. It's just a funny way that Giants renders water. If there's an object on top of it, it doesn't render the water underneath it. And because those bridges sink down into the water, gotta lift them up, save the game, put them back down, save the game again. Don't load it back up in the editor after that to save, because when they're down, yeah, it's crazy. It's just a process you gotta go through. Watch out for the bridge. You do want to slow down when you get to the bridges. It's not good if you get stuck on the bridge. You do not want to be on a bridge and while it's being lifted either. It acts like a trampoline. So you don't want to be driving a truck over. I'm pretty sure that... Who should have the right of way? The boats or the vehicles on top? Whoever gets there first. I can see it now.
Well, regardless who has a right of way, when the boat gets there and the bridge goes up, the boat is going to get the right of way as the car goes flying.
Yes, indeed. So here we are. We're going to go over and dump all 500, one full load of gravel into the vodka plant. And being as I haven't tested the trigger over there yet, it probably won't work. That's the way the night's been going. No, it should. Let's hope. The trigger works. I know the trigger works because it's an exact copy of the last one. The question is it close enough to where the boat can pull up to it? I haven't tested that. I might have to expand the water or do something around it. But if you notice these silos, I removed the hoses completely. They were just a problem with the boats. No more little spouts. You never had a product coming out of them anyway. So it's just pull the boat up, try to stop it in front of the silo. If you miss, back it up again. You'll get the trigger. There we go. We're filling up. And then wait. Wait for 500,000 to load up. And take a drink. If anybody has any questions out there, or just throw them out there. The only question we're not accepting is when will the map be done. No, really? Like I said, I wish it was done now. I've really got into Unreal Engine 4. I created my first Arc mod with Unreal Engine 4, but I've also learned how to make a character run and added how to zoom in a weapon to that character and some other little things, and working on landscaping, just little bits and pieces here and there. And I actually think that I'll be able to do enough to make a game. I don't know if it'll be any good, but I'll make something someday. I need some 3D modeling help down the road, but that'll come. My goal is to put together a really cool game in the concept and get somebody interested that wants to do the modeling, that knows better than I how to, or raise enough funds to hire someone to do the modeling would even be better. The way the physics worked on the old race cards, you need a bigger track. Well, we shrunk the track half the size and we're using go-karts now, so that's a little different. I think we could still crank up the speed on the go-karts a little bit, but they work good. As you can see, it takes a long time to load up 500,000 gravel, so you could be doing something else if you weren't lazy. Let's go check out the block company. Whoops, I was just there and I missed it. One of the things I got to do as well is increase the production speed of blocks, because it takes too long to make a pallet. So you can throw that on the list there, Viper, if you want to as well. We're at 111%.
What was that again?
That makes no sense. It's supposed to hold 5,000, but yet it so the factory itself doesn't hold 5,000, but the pallet does. So we got to make a change there too.
What's the last thing you want me to add?
Increase production speed of blocks, and actually you want to add on to increase the amount of block that the block factory holds. That's what throws off the 100. It says that there's 111%. Basically, the factory still says it holds 3,000, but I increased the pallet of block from 3,000 to 5,000, so it kind of gets the triggers a little bit messed up there. But other than that, it's looking pretty good. Yeah, those cars they're awesome. Let's see, back to my boat. We'll see how that's going. Almost there. 400,000 and another 90,000, 80,000 to go. Big Daddy. I tried to give a rundown of everything that you did on Sunday night. I gave out the link, ! Big Daddy. and I think I
Gotcha.
covered it, but you might want to just go over what you did. You had the Fliegel Timber Runner, and
Yep.
Viper was mentioning, were you going to try to put a locking script on that?
Yes. Yep. That's it's off of Marhu's site for now. The Flagel Timber Runner. The way it is that I have it, I just put it as easier place. I have the Capello Corn Header, which does 12 miles an hour instead of the 6. That's in game. I have the Crone Ultima, which is revised so that way we can auto load all the different size bales that thing produces on the West trailer. That takes Pepsi pallets, Palace pallets, all the pallets and rivers currently, as well as all the items in PV15 V2. So those 4 items are it.
The only other thing I was thinking, and I know it's not, they're going to get, will they get fill type not found if they're not running? I don't know. When you test
The
it on
pallets?
rivers, for the pallets?
Absolutely not, because it's not a fill plane. You're loading a pallet type.
Okay.
So it's not gonna. It's not. The pallets aren't fill types. They're fillable pallets. So it doesn't register in the map as a fill type per se.
Right. All right.
So they'll be fine. Nope, they won't. They won't get any error messages concerning 15 V2. That they won't have pallet as a fill type because it's not a fill type. All you're doing is auto loading the pallets on, and it's recognizing that it's in the map. So if it's not there, it's not going to throw an error message.
Hey, Seb68130, thank you for the follow. That's the Chevy will be in the mod pack for rivers, but that's funny you should ask that, Ollie, because I was just going to ask Big Daddy if there's any reason why the Chevy with the updated damage mod and the updated passenger script couldn't be given out ahead of time to these guys. Gold.
Could. Yes, correct. That's exactly why.
It does now carry gold, but you wouldn't be able to use it on your map for gold, so it would throw a
An error.
that on there,
Correct.
which isn't a huge deal because those aren't warnings that affect server crashes or anything like that.
No, what I can do is modify the Chevy truck for V2. I can put it in that folder as well.
I think it'd be cool.
And just remove gold as a fill type.
Yep. Then they can, because that's if they're gonna use the damage mod or get used to it, we're still tweaking it for our server, but that will repair them as well. When does swamp logging come out? Oh yeah. Well, we got the crane to pick up the logs, as you can see right here on the side of the boat. We just need the swamp. We gotta find a use for that. We gotta put a magnet on it. See, we can reach right down in the water, pick up a log if we want. Now that I got the crane out, I'll never get it back in. And the bridge, it goes up. Yes, I know it's not the smoothest animation, but it's all we could get to work. So there are several factories. You can now pull up to any of the docks like at Birdseed. You can fill up Birdseed. You can fill up the vodka place. This one here is, what place is that? The brewery. While building it, if there's products that can be hauled in with the boat. 500,000 at a time. Now, it might be faster to run 4 trains over to it, but it's more fun to drive the boat. The Codeman 101, thank you for the follow. And we'll zip around and see if I made the area for dumping this load in over at Vodka big enough to pull the boat in. I guessed. Might be a little tricky. So if you're joining late today, next week I will be here one way or another. It'll probably be a map class rather than Rivers preview, because that usually takes about 2 weeks, and there's a lot going on with the animal update that I don't think we'll be ready for next week. So we'll do a map class introduction to the UPK kit and get you familiar with some of the basics, and we're gonna show you guys eventually, hopefully in those classes when we're not ready, because even this week there's a lot of content that's just happening behind the scenes. Let's see if we can get the trigger here now. Am I close enough? Come on. Give me a dump trigger, please. Oh, come on. I'm live here. There's a tree in the water. Somebody... I didn't know that tree was there when I cut this out. Alright, we might have to get a little... I'm getting the... Oh, there it is. Oh, I got a dump trigger. Just got to get a little closer to the dock. Dump gravel. Yes, automated crane dump gravel system. Remove tree in water near vodka plant. See, when you carve out land and you have invisible trees, because those trees are included in the save game file, the only way I can get it out of there now is to put a Brooks on the back of this boat, cut it down, and resave the index. But there you have it. 500,000 gravel dropped off at this factory, which is 50% full. And one floating tree. David hit a tree with the boat before Viper. Funny KW. And then we'll bring the boat back in over here, refuel, and then park it. I'm trying to think. I'm going to take a quick look at my list. Yeah, I don't have to really refuel, but why not? Because we can.
Dig up the tree with your crane.
It's cutting it down is the problem. I'm going to move that fuel tank to the dock because it's hard to pull close to it where it is. I'm going to extend it out in the water and make a bigger trigger. Because it shouldn't be, life should not be this difficult. There we go. Stop! Boats drift. There we go. Picking up the tree isn't that bad. I'd leave it in the water until I put the tree removal trigger in. It's just the... what? Oh, those are the ducks in the water. I don't think you can... Hey, I'm swimming. Hello, duckies. Can't much see the fish through this water, the new water we're using. But they're in there. Finish parking my boat. So if you ever get out of the boat, just swim underneath it and hit the E key. You'll be back in it. Kinda... Oh, that's not the right boat. It's over there. Yep, I'm still waiting for my ship to come in. Oh boy. Also need to tweak the fuel usage on these boats. They really don't use enough. Close enough. I can't get on the dock. That works. Gonna take a quick look at my list and see if we went over everything here. So we did waterway ores added both to the Cat 773 and the, well, yeah, the, not, what was it, 9 something or other, the big loader. 994 is it? I can't remember the number. And the railroad crossings, new railroad crossings. We added a few new roads, the fruit trees, plum and pear, and orchards for all of the above, as well as edited the fruit storage unit and added the fruits to the warehouse storage. The pears in the whiskey plant to increase production, and eventually when we get the vodka plant built, you'll see that if you add plums, cranberries, or cherries to vodka, you'll increase the production as well, with each one of them as an additive, setting off an additional processor that throws up a lot of extra, so you can really pump out vodka. That's what we want, lots of vodka. And we got the block company working. Lots of work still to be being done on the Clickstar, but boy, that thing is looking good today. I like it. Looking good. It's only 11 o'clock and I feel like we've done everything already. Anybody have any questions? The main purpose was for the bales, Pepsi machines, wool pallets. Yeah. How long till you can fish for stuff? The fishing will be coming in a fishing update. We will be doing, and actually I can go around and show you a couple of things there. There are tiny little bits and pieces throughout the map that are still being yet to be developed. But the fishing part will come along and we'll see what we do with fishing. We've got ideas, don't know what's going to work yet, so I'm not going to really throw them out there. But we want to do a little bit extra with the fishing. The boats currently don't haul fuel, and we may change that. Right now, the big thing is the capacity for the boat and the way it enters triggers. You would probably offload way too much fuel. So we need a way for the boat to dump fuel back in. So that fuel has not been done yet, but it might. Why are there only lights on the boat when reversing? The reverse lights, I think there are headlights on the boat if you turn it on, but we didn't turn on the headlights. I'll check that out. Along here, if I'm in the right place, somewhere around here. We'll head down. So we do have one building in that will be a meat processing facility, and that's coming in the next update. We'll get this thing working, and you'll be producing all these products as well. Your ground beef, pepperoni, pork, sausage, bacon, steaks, hams, and chicken breast fillets. Yeah, to go to other places at C&M Meat Company, wholesale jobbers. Yeah, I wish I could give you a fishing pole to fish with, but you'll have to go to Fishing Planet. They got great fishing poles. Light sources, did I light up the bridges? No, the bridges aren't lit up. I'm in a parking lot, can't go that way. Light sources are always a huge factor of lag, as well as, so extra lighting for bridges is not going to happen, and you can thank Giants. Hopefully they do something about that, but light sources on here do not go well. There's water over here. Can I get around it? I want to get to that bridge. We will be using a livestock trailer. When we get to that point, that's all got to be part of this next update too. The next one. You definitely will have to use livestock to the plant. The current plan as well is you will, when you first purchase all your animal, there's going to be several components to the animal system that you'll be purchasing, like the barns and stuff, and the breeding facilities and all of that stuff. And they're all going to come empty. So there is and you don't see it, but I already started it. I just haven't uploaded that version yet. I have started a stockyard where you will be purchasing your animals on the map to bring to your barns. And you will be able to only purchase a very limited amount of those per day. So you're going to want to grab one male, one female, and try to get them to produce so you can start filling your barns. You won't need as many animals in this version as you did to produce the product that's going to be needed. So it'll be a little bit more realistic. When you bring an animal to one of the barns, it will appear in the barns. You're not going to have one animal representing 30 heads of cattle. So that's one of the things I wanted to do as well. All the weeds are cuttable now. You can everything except for the cattails that are along the water's edge. Those are the only ones that I left non-cuttable, but they're all in areas where you really probably wouldn't want to cut them anyway. Where am I heading? I'm trying to get over to a building that I put in but have not yet done anything with. It's right down here. Let's check the cemetery, see how many hours we have in. See when the next person's gonna die. Oh, the last person died 11 hours ago. And I missed the money. But as you can see, I'm using this building. I like the building, a little bit different design, but it still has all this foreign advertising. And all this is going to change, and this will be a fish market where we will be bringing fish and doing something with fish, because it's pretty big to bring trucks through, as well as you have a few loading doors back here. And they actually have a picture of a Puncto Buri Odd 8 Do 16. I don't know what this stuff means. But this is going to be the fish market, and it will function in some capacity in the game when it's ready. Yeah, the lag you saw is human lag. On a server, if you're not familiar with playing on servers, it's another one of Giant's issues where you get out of a vehicle, sometimes you just bounce all around. Nothing you can do about it. Giants had made it a little bit better, but it's still an issue. And unavoidable, but it's usually pretty good on here. And if we're getting other lag, it's because we are actually running 2 game servers on the same thing. And I will show you where the animal stockyard is going to be, even though it's not there. And you will see that appear because I have already started constructing it. I can back your you can back your trailer in there. Yeah, right now they're lunch meat. It's not fish. It's going to be a fish market. You will see it change drastically in the next update. Whether it's probably going to be 2 weeks, and there will be a lot. That should be a really good one because the animal system's a lot to begin with. I've already retextured some of the old barns and building some of the new stuff, and just redesigning the whole functionality of how that works. So the stockyard is going to be, and we're going to have to cut more trees down because there are a lot of trees over here. It's right about here, I believe, right off this road, just past the bridge. Oh yeah, that's right. I put it at the end. So you're going to come up here, you're going to turn down here, and this ends up being one huge stockyard parking lot right up here for loading up and purchasing your animals to bring off to your, fill your barns up after you build them. Yeah, you won't get the lag on single player like you do on servers. That is for sure. You will have to build the animal barns, but these building projects aren't difficult by any means. And as a matter of fact, one of the things I want to stress to you guys is that it's similar but very different playing this through than the other map because your quantities are increased. I'm trying to make easier ways, like you just saw. We just did a whole 500,000 gravel to one factory and one dump, and you'll just, I don't want to, I'm trying to take a lot of the grind out. You could literally, I filled up one truckload of product to the block company right down there, and the truckload is 105,000. It filled the block company 50%, one truckload of each of those products, and it'll probably produce 20 pallets of block, which is good enough to build 2 full orchards or build a couple animal barns. It's not going to be a ton of materials that will need to be moved around, so I think you guys will be happy with the balance that we're bringing in, as well as lots of the things you don't have to run around in between. They're all closer together, like the whole forestry area. You won't have to go far to do your forestry, just to the bottom of the hill. All in all, I think you'll really like the different changes that we made in that respect. You can triple the quantity. The quantity has been brought back in standards to the standard that Giants did with their original crops. Meaning that we brought those all back up to normal. So your wheat is going to be the same as the vanilla game, your barley and those, and everything else is based off that, in combination with how many days it takes to grow it and the price. So it's just a little fluctuation. If you're getting a really high price, you're either taking longer to grow it or it's giving you less quantity. Yep, we'll be working on a couple add-on packs. Now that, I don't know if I mentioned before, but one of the cool things about the add-on packs is that we should be able to release the map prior to you getting the add-on packs as well. And then when we get them done, you can drop them in. With the exception, there's only one thing you're going to have to look out for if we do that. And we don't know what's going to happen yet with them, but at the time, you're probably going to want to, you know, if we're putting fences and you want to use the fence pack, you obviously don't want vehicles on the edges of roads where the fences are going to appear, because worst case scenario, you're going to launch your vehicles into the air, or they're going to be stuck in a fence when you come back in after you add that pack. How many fields are there on this map? Are there going to be? I will give you an idea, and it's show you the map even though it's not done yet. You could see this bottom, where I am right now, in the bottom left corner, there are fields 1 to 26, and 27 and 28 are the cranberry rice fields that are flooded down below. And those are the only fields that are plowed. Every other area is a plot of land that you can choose to buy if you want to use it. You could choose to just leave it there for mowing, or you can, yeah, if you're going to want to put any buildings or cut out your own fields on it wherever you want, it goes up to, what is it, 52. And we already did do that, and I'll take you over there to show you. You can see over here, if you look at the map, just up from this area to the left, you'll see an area number 50 and area number 52 that are bought, but there's green grass underneath them. And that's what this map is going to be really all about. We're going to also look at different ways to put in, to connect these things a little bit better. We'll see what we can do. I wanted to have a road building system, but that didn't work quite the way I wanted, so I have a few other ideas we'll test, and hopefully, worst case scenario, you'll make a plowed road and you'll have dirt. It just won't look like the dirt that this does. But I think I have a good idea for connecting up putting your own roads down. We shall see when we get to that point, which is like a few weeks away anyway, at least. Animal update, greenhouse update, all the little stuff like that, and then we shall see. So they purchased down here lot 50 and planted this field right here, plowed it out themselves, and made one huge, I don't know what the heck they're growing, sugarcane field, yeah, out of this whole place. And you'll have the option to do it where you want, and the reason why they put this here is because it's right next to the Pepsi company, and they can offload stuff right into the Pepsi factory. So that's going to be convenient for you guys. You can put your fields where you want, right next to the factories you want if you want to, but yeah, they planted this whole area here. And they also purchased, and by they I think I mean Dan, Viper, and Scott, St. Louis. I believe they purchased this property over here for the sugar beets for the Pepsi plant. Yep. So there's another big square that they plowed out and they're planting over here. So we're going to give you some ways to, and they're actually, looks like they're using the back of the gas station. The gas station over here is their little spot for storing vehicles. One of the things I want to do, though, is I want to make it so you can plow out these areas, put down a slab for like they're using, or a garages and buildings built on slabs that cover up the dirt texture, and then you'll be able to plant grass right around them again and make it look pretty again. So I want you guys to be able to customize the map the way you want to with the different objects. So you might want your whole animal barn area or your orchards down this road, for instance. That's why I'm also adding some more roads. I'm contemplating adding just lots, vacant lots for you to build on, but I don't want to determine where you're building. So we're going to try some other things first and see if they work. And then if they don't, maybe I'll add, I did add a couple areas on the map, and I can show you that as well. We've got empty trailers down here. Ooh, look at that. I didn't notice they were so far along with this factory. Frito-Lay's almost done.
Yep.
Good job. What do we got left over here? We don't have the trigger. Where is the trigger? It's on the other side, isn't it? Yeah. Shows you how much I've actually been playing on this map. I don't even know what's going on around here. I'm stuck in a parking lot and I can't get out. Who designed this mess? There's a fence all the way. Guess I gotta enter from the other side. back out, go around. Oh, didn't see that fencer. Yeah, we're not going to have to do the cement, gravel, and sand to make roads. I've been toying with even putting in the system I developed for those that want to use it, but it's a lot of work, and you can actually pave roads, but they get torn up easy. So I think we're just going to have some placeable segments that will be easy to link together to, or buildable objects that have larger platforms that cover up. But we definitely got to get some road system to put in. We'll see what we come up with. And I just drove by where I wanted to go. Yeah, the plots that you can buy, thanks. I think I want... That's why I'm developing my own game. If we had $1 for every idea that we wanted to do and couldn't do, this is at 76%. You're just on the stock stage. Nice. And it's empty, so it needs potato, canola, and salt. I think it just tipped over. Just so you guys know. Viper, you're the only one listening. Dan went to bed, I think.
Yep.
I hear you.
Oh yeah, Big Dad. Yeah, but
I'm here.
You're not doing the work on the map. Viper is, and Dan.
No, Viper and Dan. Oh yeah. I do wood. That's about it though.
It's tough though. When we're doing the mods, you don't get as much time to play. And actually we do, but we're playing other games as well, so during the time. Will the roads be a little lower with the curbs? That's one thing you noticed on PV2. Your trucks bounce on the curbs. The roads in this map are just textures on the ground, 90% of them. Any roads that are not will be ones that you put in, and we'll have to see how that works. Hopefully we can come up with a good system. But all these roads, there are no curbs. They are just textures on the ground, and that does save, except for the ones down by the water. That's not exactly true. The ones down by the lakefront and those roads are fine. They are so thin you don't even know you're on them. They are literally paper thin. Yep, PV2 trucks do bounce on some of the roads. And that was because I used the roads from the Hagenstedt map, the big sections, and made them fit. And they, if you could do one thing over that didn't take 1,000,000 hours, it'd probably be the roads in that map. But, you know, I'm not going to. I have a feeling that that map is going to lose all interest once this one comes out. So yeah, the roads that I'm talking about, the only roads that are in here are the ones that are down in near the waterfront, if I can get there. Take a hard right. I love the way this is coming out though, like little bridge over to this area, and you've got your water factory and up here. So this road that I'm on here, it's smooth as silk. You can see that unless you drive on the curbs, just going from the grass, it doesn't even, they are collisionable, but they are so thin, paper thin, that you see how my tire moves up, and it's just such a minor amount going on the edges that you won't even notice that you transition to a road. Unless you hit the curbs that are like down along the front, another right turn. And that even those aren't that high. I mean, you can go right over these as well. See the parking onto the sidewalk. Drive down the sidewalks. Back onto the roads. barely even noticeable. So I think you'll be pretty pleased with those roads. Yes, Culligan still is the same way. You have to stand at the back of it to pump the water. And to fill the towers. And there are still yet 2 more water towers I want to put on the map. I've just been waiting to see where they're going to go because I want them to be useful but not ridiculous. I don't want you to be able to park a truck right at them and offload into your building, but right now I'm thinking somewhere down at the bottom of the forestry area on that road probably be a water tower, and one down in the bottom left-hand corner. But as far as Culligan goes, you will have to pump it. When driving cheese to Campbell's, PV2 cannot run away without coming soup in the truck. Will it be redone in the new? It is a problem if you only have one box. That is a very good question. I will do something. What? I don't know. There's a couple challenges to that, and I can explain that as well while we're here. But one of the reasons why I make you want to have to pump the water over here, for those who don't know about the map, is because if I lift a switch where you could either turn it on and off, you just need to keep it on, and it makes no sense even having the triggers here, auto-filling. Fortunately for you, it holds 1 million, and it fills very quickly, 2% at a time, so 50 seconds to fill up. Yeah, so now there's 1 million. I mean, it's not a lot of time. It's done. Go get yourself a sandwich if it's completely empty. Other side is down a little bit. But I wanted you to have some interaction with the map. There's going to be more noise over here too, and I'm going to carry the water spouts over that whole animation rig over at the soy milk to this as well. So when you're standing here, you'll not only be pumping the water, but you'll see a little bit more action. There, it's filled up. It's not a lot of time. I may increase the capacity of the water. It does. I don't know. I think PV2. It might be a little faster. The funny thing is, I've put this in so long ago before I took my break that I don't remember if I tweaked it or not.
No, the speed is the same for both versions.
But it doesn't take long.
No, no.
I may increase the capacity for one reason and one reason only. At least on the plant itself. The factory itself, I probably will give it a double the capacity so you can pump 2 million into the factory. And that is just because the boat holds 500,000 water. And 2 boatloads in, you have to pump it again. So maybe make that a little bit more. And let's see. Is there a rice field you can fill water at? Or a nice field? Does that say nice or rice? You can fill water with a water tank at any place you can get near the water on the lower level. This lower level. So you don't actually, I didn't block the water here. If you don't want to pump it, just drive over to, trust me, you'll end up in the water in enough places here. There are several places on the lower level that don't have sharp edges. Mostly, and some of you guys know how to back a trailer right into the water as it is. So, if there's a place that you can get a water trailer into, you can drive right up to it, and I think like right across the river from where I am, right on that corner, looks like a nice little ramp. We're not worried about where you get your water from. So if you want to bring in water, find a place to load up your water around the edges and back the trailers in, you'll be able to do it. So anyway, yeah, as you were mentioning, driving cheese to Campbell's. I am very aware of that issue because we have it as well, and it was an oversight, and it's just one of those things that, let's take a look at the factory, and I can explain better when I'm over there what the issue is. Mind you that there are several soups over there, each of them running its own processor, so they run individually. So what is there, 12 I think. It's like 12 factories in one location. So we have multiple cheese drop-off spots that have to be fulfilled. So I can't make just one universal drop-off spot. So maybe you guys, when I get over there, have a brighter idea than I can think of. So that's why I'm heading over that way.
Yeah, you got all those bays around the corner. If you take the drop off, the what do you call it, the triggers for the auto load, or I'm gonna say this, the triggers that for the spawn of the soup could be placed over by the bays instead of where next to where the drop-off spots are.
They could, but the problem with that theory is the pallets all show up where that area is, where you're pulling up to pick up. And you know what I mean? And they won't all fit in these bays individually as well for each of the soups. There's not enough bays. Let's go over there, we're heading that way. For each soup. So there are, however, and now that you mentioned it, enough bays to make a separate drop-off spot for just the cheese for each of the soups that take cheese. Where are we? Over that way? It's getting dark out in here. So here we go.
Oh,
Actually,
couldn't you just do one cheese drop off for all of them?
no, because they're all individual processors.
Okay.
So you wouldn't know which one you're filling. They're not linked together. So when I pull in here to do the soups, if it has cheese, which that one doesn't, let's see how many have cheese. Soup, tomato, water, pig. All right, so here's one with cheese right here. I'm actually, and actually there's a piece missing over here too as well. I gotta recopy. The soup pallets appear on my right. I want to be able to pick up as I go through here, just drive down the line and pick up all the pallets as I'm going through. And I see what you're talking about down here at these garages, but it's much easier to go across over there to pick up your soup, and much easier for me than not having to move it. There probably are enough bays. How many bays are here on a garage? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, there's more than there are soups. 2 garages down here. But the intention behind those before was to make it so that you, whatchamacallit, yeah, to make it so, look at that. See, this is a non-collisionable train. The real one's not here yet. Yeah, see, the cement's supposed to be in on that other side. Cement, but we'll get to this. Campbell's has to have some work done on it because we're changing the soups anyway. But when you pull up along the side of the pallets, they should be loading, and I like the way that works on this map. But the drop-off triggers for all the products as well are right here, and the only one that's a problem is soup because it's the only one that's carried in the box truck. I mean cheese, because it's carried in the box truck. So there's 2 ways around it. You create another vehicle or a separate cheese truck. Ew. What is there any vehicles you guys think of that it could be added to separate from the box truck? That's the easiest, simplest way. moving cheese with another vehicle. We can move it with this little pickup, but it doesn't hold. It only has a 400 capacity.
Use your multi-liquid tanker
I was
as
just-
liquid cheese.
I was thinking about that. I could put the cheese in the liquid transport and then transport it. That's a good possibility. What do you guys think of that? Would that ruin it for you? Having liquid cheese?
Make it Velveeta.
Because that's the easiest, simplest way. The other way is to move each of the soup cheese triggers to a new location and mark it so that we know, again, which soup it is, and just move the cheese. Create a separate trigger for the couple, and I think there's only 2. I was counting and I lost count. And put them somewhere separately so the cheese gets dropped off separately. Whoops, I hit the wrong button again.
The other suggestion on your chat room was remove the auto load trigger.
Cannot do
You
it
know,
because the UPK kit doesn't allow for it. It's a trigger. Unfortunately, I wish it wasn't that way. That's one of the big issues. We'd have to, and this whole thing is designed with the UPK. There's no R to fill button. I don't believe. I'll take another look. That worked on the server anyway. The toggle switches do not work on servers. That's why we went. Another reason why we went off, and we still have them, and you guys will know very well what I'm talking about. Up at the Kojin, we have the toggle switches on paper, glue, and boards, so you can choose which ones you want turned on and off. And what happens every time you shut down the server? They're not saving their state of where they were previously. So they just don't work right. There's no way to have it toggles on and off that works correctly. And therefore, unfortunately, we're stuck with that. Let's see which ones have cheese now I'm driving around. I think there's only 2. Maybe 3. Chicken, carrot, onion. I think the water trailer might be the liquid trailer. Putting cheese in it is probably the best bet. The easiest for me.
make it so, number 1.
Or in a tipper, cheese in blocks. We can't spawn cheese from that factory, and oh, maybe we could change that.
No. Cheese on pallet.
All right.
Use your pallet. Use your pallet truck.
The hard, and actually, I'm checking these now, but we're changing the soups anyway. So there's 2, I think. So there may not be 2. There may be more, but right now there's only 2. 2 soups that take cheese.
I would do the liquid because it's going to melt it down anyway, so it would be in a liquid state anyway.
Yeah, liquid cheese works. And the cool thing about that is you're already bringing... Oh wait, is that going to cause a problem with milk? No, because the milk is not picked up there. It's just dropped off there. Are you going to...
No, there's no issues. Yeah, there's no
shouldn't be
issues.
any issues there. If we were to use the pallets, I really like the pallets. The map is running on 2 different things. This whole map runs on either, well, for the most part. There are other things, but you're either running a fabric script, which is Marhu's creation, and you'll see it, and that is anything that creates a pallet on this map currently is running the fabric script. If it's not running the fabric script, it is the UPK kit. Currently, the cheese factory process is running on the UPK kit, and therefore does not produce pallets. If we were to make cheese on a pallet, which is kind of cool, I'd have to just think it through to make it so that it's UPK. It can work on the fabric script. That's all. And really, there's what do we have? Milk, salt, and what else and water for cheese, right? That's it. inputs, outputs.
Yeah, milk, salt, and water.
And that actually would be a real easy one to create a palette from. So, in the long run, I like that idea. A cheese palette shouldn't be too hard to design. And the fabric script would add much more functionality and be a little bit nicer than the current kind of missing. Well, you know, it has salt and stuff, piles. But we'll see. It'll be one or the other. Maybe for now, it might just be the water trailer, because if I get involved in too many things like that, the map will never be done. Redoing stuff and redoing. I had thought about that too. We could have done another AR box trailer, give it a different shell color or something so you can determine, or just put the logos right on it and call it the cheese trailer. But I'm pretty sure that that would be, it's just another piece of equipment that you'd have to purchase separate from everything else. So utilizing something that we already have is always a better idea, in my opinion. If we can utilize either the liquid multi-transport or the make new pallets that can go already on our new flatbed trailer, just to give Big Daddy a little bit more work. But my understanding is if I name it lettuce pallet, we're good to go, so that wouldn't be too hard.
Any type, as long as the key is the suffix needs to be pallet with a capital P, and you can name it whatever you want or prefix, and as long as I know what it is, you're good to go.
All right. So there you go.
You can name it cheese pallet with a lowercase c, and that's not a problem at all.
So we shall see which one of those comes through. We don't know yet. Anybody else
My
got
part would be
questions?
easier than your part for sure.
Right, right. The easiest way would be the water trailer. You know how easy
Yep.
that is? You type in cheese in the fill types, and you type in cheese in the mod description, and you're done. Liquid
Correct.
cheese. And then you take it out of the box truck, which is simple. So at this point, if you guys ever want to see that map, vote for that option. The easy way out. I like liquid cheese, especially the kind that comes in the little spray bottles that you put on crackers.
Cheese it. Is it Cheese Whiz? Cheese Whiz.
Cheese Whiz. So, other than S7 Davis is like, no, don't make me make cheese logos for my Clickstar trailer. I'm sure he's out there thinking something. So anybody else have any questions before? It's about almost midnight. That's a pretty good length for tonight. Again, next week, probably not going to be a update because the animal system is huge. It will probably be a map class, and we'll start you off with the UPK and learn, and I'll even get the materials ready. And we'll do some explaining on the UPK. Some of you already have probably fiddled with it. I'm going to get more in depth as to what's going to work. The UPK kit's fantastic, and there are tons of functions, but I can tell you this right now. There's probably a good 20 to 30% that do not work on servers, and if you go and try to use them, they're not going to work. Different functions that are built into it. So I've developed some workarounds. I've developed different ways of thinking to get things to work, and it's a go-to place when something else doesn't work now as well. Like, for instance, the blue bridges that I just drove over, they do not work on servers in their current format. So I built them with the UPK, and I can show you how to make the triggers so they raise and different things like that. We'll do a series until I feel you guys have heard enough of me on the UPK kit, and we'll see what you guys, if you have any suggestions other than buildable factories, because I know that's already out there, but if you have something, we can show you how to create different things like, let's see, the animal barns that I'm doing. Heck, by the time that lesson comes along, I might even show you a few things while I'm working on the animal barns or the breeding stations for the new animals coming in. Nope. Oh wait, we moved cheese for pizza too.
I got an idea.
Yeah.
What about this? We still leave cheese the way it is. You move it in the AR box truck. But what about we create a new fill type called liquid cheese? You take the cheese that's in the box truck, drop it off like a furnace location, then you add coal to the power, and you add cheese, and you create liquid cheese, which you deliver to Campbell's.
Could do that.
Just a quick fix. That way you still have cheese that goes to pizza, and then liquid cheese that goes to Campbell's.
Yeah.
Just a little hut.
We
All
could
we need is a
also
little hut or
just-
something.
Yeah, I'm thinking what's going to be involved in a whole new object. It'd be real easy to have a secondary output as liquid cheese at the dairy place too. Have two different ones. Although then you can't really control, unless we put
What?
those stupid boxes back in, what's being produced for what. Yeah, we could have a cheese whiz, liquid cheese factory. Stock it with coal, melt down your cheese, although,
Yeah.
or fuel or something. It's possible. That'd be kind
Yeah,
of
that's
cool.
what I was thinking. Just coal and whatever we call it, whatever, a Nabisco, whatever, cheese,
We
easy
could
cheese
put that
as
right
21
out
something
of-
said.
We could put a big cheese melter right down at Campbell's.
Right.
You know, load it in here. Actually, you would have to move the liquid cheese manually because they're separate factories.
Correct.
But we
You still use
could
the
do
tankers
something
for that.
cheese melter. That's what we'll create. We'll create a cheese melting vat. How about that? Does that sound good to you guys? You bring the cheese, but it doesn't get dumped in those triggers. It gets dumped somewhere outside of that area at Campbell's to be melted down. Then you'll use the liquid transport to just move it from that trigger to another place.
Right, and I'll put liquid cheese, which tastes to Campbell's. That way they won't accidentally go
And
in.
that way, yeah, you won't accidentally do it. Then you won't be bringing cheese over and dumping it in with that. You'll be using a different, the AR trailer, because it'll be
Correct.
turned into a liquid.
Yep, liquid cheese.
I like that idea. See, now you guys are actually here tonight. We've been doing more of what we do off of the cameras and throw ideas back and forth, and that's what we do here all the time. A fondue
Yes,
pot.
exactly.
KW. A big fondue pot.
Then we add some Heartland bread in there. Absolutely. Some vegetables. We dip it.
Auto sell like milk. Ship it. Again, the auto sell triggers. I'm trying to get away from those because they get stuck on certain, the toggles. Funny thing is that if there's one problem that I have discovered in the latest version of the UPK kit, just one. The 12.10 or whatever he has, that everything that we've done in here, I don't know what number it is actually, but 10.12 I think it is or something. But the latest version, everything that we've done in here relies on, and therefore I can't use it. If he would do just that one little fix, and it's a silly little fix, then I might be able to switch over to the latest version where all those triggers are actually fixed. But currently I can't, and that is the add if tipping function. And it's a simple function that if you go to any of our buildable factories, you know how you have the amount filled now on them? So you can tell how much you put in them? It doesn't work anymore with the latest version. That's the add if tipping. If I'm dumping gravel, it keeps a running total of how much has already been dumped into those. So therefore, to switch over to the newest UPK and hope everything else works, I would have to edit every single factory and take those out, and you wouldn't have that feature built in, which has been a big help for a lot of people. So I decided to not go that route. Beef and cheese sticks. We'll have a cheese molding, a factory. We can make
Slim Jims.
Slim Jims and cheese sticks. I'm just driving all over the place. Anyway, we're just about ready to wrap up. If anybody has any other questions or wants to see something that I didn't show them before it gets too dark in here. Thank you again for all the kind donations tonight. And as we approach follower number 1,000, make sure you get over here. Stop in often. I don't know if you guys remember, but we are still running, I think it's exclamation point points. To check how many points. Is that what it was? Let me see what it is.
Sure is.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. So you can see you're getting viewer points. And yeah, I'm wasting gas. I'm almost at half tank. I better go fill that up. You get more points for viewing. You get points by following. You'll need points to get into the drawing. We'll make it so you can use your points. And also you could wager your points. You guys probably want to get back on that next week when we're broadcasting by playing the mini game that I can't even remember what it was, but we'll get all that back up and running. We'll even put up a new mini game for next week's broadcast. For those of you who don't know, the Shell Factory now has a fill-up station where you can fill directly from it. If you missed that, I'm going to swing by here. Takes right out of the Shell inventory, which is full. Sorry, Dan. Animated door trigger or map trigger scaled up for bridges. No, that's what was on it. You can't scale an animated door trigger with the door. It's tricky. But they also do not sync up correctly. I mean, I think that's what was on. I can't remember when we did these bridges. But the animated map trigger, one of those, we've tried everything. It was tried. I tried to take these doors over here, but we had issues with them when they were on the server. I took the same triggers on this door trigger, tried to use it on the bridges. Oh, that was that side door. And it did not work. We had other issues where visually, again, they weren't syncing up between players on a server. Just a server. It worked fine on single player, but on the server, did not function right.
Dave, you need to reset your donation ticker. Wolfie sent you a donation a half hour ago and it didn't come up.
Really? Weird.
Yep.
Well, thank
Yeah,
you, Wolfie. Did he send it through the
I believe so. I just think your Twitch alerts is broken. I haven't seen
Twitch
a follower
alerts?
come
Yeah,
up.
the followers. Anybody that followed and I didn't get the alerts, I apologize. They'll all probably show up tomorrow. And any donations that might have been sent, I can try resetting it, but at this point we're just about ready to log off. I thank all of you, and I assure you I will get them. I will check the list when I get off there. And thank you, Wolfie, for the donation as well. Twitch alerts has still got issues, but it's free now, so
You get what you pay for.
yeah. You get what you pay for. And Low Spark Ken, thank you for the follow. Yeah, the preview last leg. We're all done for this evening. And we'll be back next week. And I'm toying with doing some more streaming. Not necessarily Pleasant Valley streaming. But when we take our breaks, I think we're probably going to do a pretty good convoy on American Truck Simulator this week for sure. That's something that the guys have been wanting to do, so you might see us do that. we do take downtime and do other things. So yeah, you'll catch me, but it might not always be on the farming. Anything with eggs? Not this week. Update on eggs next week. Egg laying station. Check out the Trello board. See everything that goes into the anime. Yeah, that whole thing. The whole animal update. I have 20-step process now, and it will probably be added to. But there are 20 things on that list that are ideas that I want to get to function, and I'm pretty sure I can make them all happen. So they'll be expanded upon, and you will see that in a couple of weeks. If you want to also, Def Gamer, somebody wants to give him a link to the Trello, or type in for him. The Trello board is a great place. There is a link. Actually, I'll show you real quick, because I think I can as I exit out of here. Let me jump into... I'm going to show you guys a little bit of what's going on behind the scenes. No, you guys can always look at this. It's available anywhere you want, anytime you want it. So let me exit out of here. You see my desktop. I'm going to drag over my browser, and let's get my other browser. Leave that one running. Yeah, I've got multiple browsers because that Trello board is already up on here. So when I'm talking about the Trello board, and even for this, let me hang on a minute. I'm going to knock out my background so it's not in the way. This is the stuff that so far is being planned for in the doing column for the animal update. And if you take a look at the Trello board, which you can click the link at the bottom of the site, you can pull this right up. But some of these things may move into this list, other things may be added. But if you go to the revamp animal system, you will see a checklist of items that runs right off the page that I have planned for the animal system. 20 to be exact, in that big huge list. If you want to know what's been done this week, if you go over to the version log right here, anytime, this version log link will always be in the top of the done column, and you click on that, and then you will find a link to the PV Rivers version log. It's another Trello board that shows what we've done that's been added in the 0.1 update. This was added in for the last time, and 0.3 is what we just introduced to you tonight. 0.4 version will be everything that we get done for the next preview. So you can see what we did if you missed it and you just want a quick glance. Visit the Trello board. It's a great place for information. KW successfully added Trello permission. Everyone message. Cool. I gotta click that link and see what that does. I have no idea. But yeah, there you go. Quickly get to the Trello board. You can register. If you register for the Trello board, you can also go, and if you like one of the ideas you see in any of these columns that I might be overlooking, like this one, you can see it's kind of hard to see here, but it has 4 votes, because if you are a registered user to Trello, which is free, it doesn't cost you anything, you can actually click and vote on items as a registered user. You won't be able to comment or do anything else, but I will see your votes that you like the idea. And I think that about covers everything. So any other questions? And if that's it for the evening, thank you everybody for stopping in. Thank you for all your donations. Next week we'll do most likely be doing a map class once again. So we'll keep in touch, and if I pop on during the week, we'll probably be playing some other video game that you might want to check out. Other than that, everybody have a great day, and thanks for watching.